Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Am I audible?
Hare Krishna.
Yes, you are. Yes.
Thank you. Just wanted to be sure. Thank you for joining. We'll start with Jai Radha Madhav and we'll proceed to the next verse.
What is going on?
Give me just one more second.
I'm going to start sharing. Yeah. Now he's putting things on. And he's maybe going to sleep.
Okay, so then you got the message. Are you on mute?
No, I wasn't.
Okay. So, Hare Krishna, dear devotees, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. All glories to all of you. Thank you so much for joining this morning. We'll start with Jai Radha Madhav and we'll go to the verse for today. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girvaradhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girvaradhari Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Jaya Nitai Gaur Chandra Nitai Gaur Chandra Gaura Hari Jaya Radha Sharad Bihari Radha Sharad Bihari Radhe Radhe Jaya Jagannath Jaya Jagannath Jaya Baladeva Jaya Shri Subhadra Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Srila Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Gurudev Gurudev गुरुदेव जय श्रील गुरुदेव गौर प्रेमानंदी जयंत लीला प्रविष्ट जय विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिवकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर श्री श्रीमद हिज डिवाइन ग्रेस एसी भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय जय विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिवकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर श्री श्रीमद भक्ति सिद्धांत गोस्वामी महाराज की जय अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय नामाचार्य श्रील हरिदास ठाकुर की जय इस्कॉन फाउंडर आचार्य श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरी गोवर्धन की जय वृंदावन धाम की जय मथुरा धाम की जय नवदीप धाम की जय जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय गंगा माई की जय यमुना माई की जय तुलसी देवी की जय संकीर्तन महायज्ञ की जय सामवेद भक्त वृंद की जय गौर प्रेमानंदी हरि हरि बोलो all glories to assembled devotees all glories to assembled devotees all glories to assembled devotees all glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय Hare Krishna, dear devotees, welcome once again and thank you for joining this morning. Today's verse is from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 2, Chapter 8, verse number 23. And the chapter name is, the title of the chapter is Questions by King Parikshit. Yathātma-tantro bhagavān vikrīḍaty ātma-māyayā visṛjya va yathā māyām udāste sākṣivad vibhuḥ yathātma-tantro bhagavān vikrīḍaty ātma-māyayā visṛjya va yathā māyām udāste sākṣivad vibhuḥ yathātma-tantro bhagavān vikrīḍaty ātma-māyayā visṛjya va yathā māyām udāste sākṣivad vibhuḥ. Devotees can recite. Hare Krishna, His Grace, Vishnuvada Prabhu. Please accept my humble obeisances. All grace to
yathātma-tantro bhagavān vikrīḍaty ātma-māyayā visṛjya yathā māyām, udāste sākṣivad vibhuḥ.
Thank you, Prabhu. Anyone else?
yathātma-tantro bhagavān vikrīḍatyātmano vikrīḍatātma-māyayā visṛi visṛjya yathā māyām udāste sākṣivad vibhuḥ. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Anyone else?
Hare Krishna.
Hare.
yathātma-tantro bhagavān vikrīḍaty ātma-māyayā visṛjya yathā māyām udāste sākṣivad vibhuḥ. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Anyone else?
yathātma-tantro bhagavān vikrīḍaty ātma-māyayā visṛjya yathā māyām udāste sākṣivad vibhuḥ. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Okay. Synonyms, word to word meanings. Yathā as ātma-tantraha, independent. Bhagavān, the personality of Godhead. Vikrīḍaty, enjoys his pastimes. ātma-māyayā, by his internal potency. Visṛjya, giving up. Va, as also. Yathā, as he desires. Māyām, the external potency. Udāste, remains. Sākṣivad, such just as the witness. Vibhuḥ, the Almighty. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. The independent personality of Godhead enjoys his pastimes by his internal potency, and at the time of annihilation, gives them up to the external potency, and he remains a witness to it all. Purport. Lord Shri Krishna, being the Supreme Personality of Godhead and fountainhead of all other incarnations, is the only independent person. He enjoys his pastimes by creation as he desires and gives them up to the external energy at the time of annihilation. By his internal potency only, he kills the demon Putna, and even though by his internal potency only, he kills the demon Putna, even though enjoying his pastimes in the lap of his mother Yashoda. And when he desires to leave this world, he creates the pastimes of killing his own family members, Yadukula, and remains unaffected by such annihilation. He is the witness of everything that is happening, yet he has nothing to do with anything. He is independent in every respect. Maharaj Parikshit desired to know more perfectly, for a pure devotee ought to know well. So the context here is, as we see, a question answer session going on between Parikshit Maharaj and Shukdev Goswami. And Maharaj Parikshit is inquiring about the transcendental nature of Lord and how he deals with this material creation. Now, as you all understand, Maharaj Parikshit is asking these questions not from an ordinary person. He is asking these questions from a bona fide spiritual master. And why he's asking? Yesterday also, towards the end, little discussion came, or in the beginning also, like why Parikshit Maharaj is asking all these questions when he has just few days, very few days left to leave his body. Because he wanted to become fully equipped in the science of God. Just like a soldier is always ready He is getting trained every day. He's working out every day, and he's fully equipped in the situation of war to face any circumstances. So Maharaj Parikshit wanted to be fully equipped in the science of God. And also we see Maharaj Parikshit is just not asking superficial questions. He's going very, very deep. He's not satisfied superficially. He wanted to make sure his understanding is crystal clear, which is very important. Someone may ask, for example, how should I chant, right? A very general question. A new devotee comes to the temple. The answer would be, okay, take a jap mala, get it from our temple store, you start chanting, chant, and then maybe as a next step, maybe next week some devotee will tell him, you know what, also chant Panchtattva mantra before you chant your round, and explain why. But someone who is really sincere and who is really getting into the process, he will also ask more questions. He will not just stay back and just start chanting for years or months. What would be the next question? Probably, what should now I do when chanting, and what should I not do? That should be the next question for a progressive devotee. Again and again, Srila Prabhupada used the word progressive devotee in the past verse also. The previous verse also. He used that word in the purport. He used that word, progressive devotee. One who is constantly on the path of progression, upliftment. So next question could be, how should I chant? What should I do? What should I not do when I'm chanting? Then again, he will ask probably, oh, what should I do to bring back my mind? Because my mind is wandering all around when I'm chanting. Such a devotee, such a sadhak can grow in bhakti, in devotion very, very quickly. Not only that he will grow, he will also get fixed because he's asking questions, clarifying all his doubts. Nothing will be able to shake him or disturb him. Because we all have experienced after being in Krishna consciousness movement for a number of years, even in the devotional environment, so many things happen around us which may easily disturb us. And I'm sure all of you will understand what I'm trying to say. But a progressive devotee, a sincere devotee, because he's asking questions to his seniors all the time, to his spiritual master all the time, and getting the clarification, he will never get disturbed. Or even if he gets disturbed, he will be fixed on the path and he will understand. He will become more mature. So here also we see in this particular verse, Krishna's, Lord's relationship with Maya, material energy is mentioned, and also how he is completely independent. So before that, I just want to make sure we all of us are able to focus on the verses we study every day as much as possible. When we were listening to the verse and explanation to the previous verse yesterday, how after Mahapralaya, after life of Brahma, all conditioned living entities, no matter which lokas they are on, earthly planets, heavenly planets, or the hellish planets or whatever, they all get merged into the body of Mahavishnu. Very interesting point. For billions of years, until the next Brahma comes. It means all of us here have also gone through that cycle and experience. No matter whether we were the richest people on this planet or whatever planet we were on previously, or most powerful or most beautiful, doesn't matter. We all had to go after the annihilation, during the annihilation, and kind of get freeze in the body of Mahavishnu. And not just once it happened. It must have happened to us unlimited times. The fact that we are still here in the material world, it has happened to us millions of times or unlimited times. And most recently, when it happened? 50 years back. Who's 50 years? Brahma's 50 years back. Because now it is, I think, the 51st year of Brahma's life. This Brahma's life. So the reason I'm trying to bring this point is, if we think about it, even after this, going through this experience unlimited times, we have not understood our lesson or our pathetic condition. So this is our story actually. This is not just Parikshit Maharaj's story or his question answers. This, whatever we are reading every day, this is our story. So when we start putting ourselves in these verses, then we will become more attracted towards this process of hearing and reading. And then transformation will happen more easily and more quickly. I just wanted to, something I realized yesterday, how I might have, or I must have gone through that experience of getting frozen in the body of Mahavishnu for millions and billions of years. So coming back to this verse, of course, this is tied up to the questions Parikshit Maharaj is asking. So he's asking, although this particular verse looks like a statement, it is actually a question from Parikshit Maharaj also. That how come personality of Godhead, Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is able to enjoy his pastimes by internal potency, and at the same time, when it's time for annihilation or destruction, he can give it up to all these things to external potency. And he just remains like a sākṣivad, right? Just as the witness. So the word used, if you see this verse, is ātma-tantro for bhagavān. Ātma-tantra means independent, completely independent. So Krishna, as a Supreme Bhagavan or Supreme Lord, is just not independent. He is the only one who is independent. Everything else is directly or indirectly dependent on him. Shri Krishna does not need any external help to function or to enjoy or to perform any activities. He acts just based on his own desires. Nobody can force him, nobody can bound him. Because he is the Swayam Bhagavan, the original, the source of everything. Just like we humans, let's say we want to build a house, we will need a lot of resources. So if I want to create a house, build a house, I will need resources. But Krishna can create just through his will. I may say I have built this house or this building, but I am dependent on so many factors: laborers, architects, designers, raw materials. But Krishna as Mahavishnu is just lying on the causal ocean. He's just meditating with closed eyes and creating unlimited universes just out of his will, out of desire. Can we close our eyes and think, let there be a big mansion for me? Not possible, right? So Krishna doesn't need anything, but we need everything that is created by Krishna for anything we want to create. Another example, we can think how Krishna is supremely independent, but we are not, by the example of the prison house. A king of a state or a country may visit a prison house, but he is not a prisoner. He's just visiting there, right? Similarly, Krishna may appear in this material world, but he remains unaffected. We also know our dear His Holiness Chandramauli Swami Maharaj. He visits prisons to preach there, but it doesn't mean that he's part of those prisoners. He's there to preach, to deliver them. Similarly, the great souls, the pure devotees, appear in this world not to get bound by this material world, but to deliver us, like Srila Prabhupada and so many devotees. That's why taking shelter of these pure devotees is so important if you want to understand Krishna's energy and be conscious of whether we are under the control of his internal energy or external energy, how they are different, all these concepts. We'll talk about them as much as possible today. But if we really want to understand, taking the shelter of how well Srila Prabhupada is explaining all these things in each purport. He has taken so much time and effort to explain the. Otherwise, if we just right now on the screen, I just have the words and the translation. I cannot understand what he's trying to say, or this verse is trying to say, unless I go to Srila Prabhupada's purport. And not only that, after that, I hear the explanation of even these purports by some advanced devotees. It's very hard to understand for us. So, taking the shelter of these great devotees is very, very important. That's why Narottam Das Thakur sings, "Ei bar karuna karo Vaishnava Gosai Patita Pavana Tuma Bina Keho Nai." No one except you. This is a prayer for devotees, great devotees, pure devotees. Nothing, no one except you can purify me, a fallen soul like me. Why? Because Tumara Hirdaye Sada Govinda Vishram Govinda Kohena Mora Vaishnava Praran. Because these pure souls, they carry Govinda, Lord Krishna, in their heart all the time. And Govinda says, the Vaishnavas, these pure devotees, who are Vaishnavas? Pure devotees. They are in my heart. So they carry, wherever they go, they carry Krishna. So as we were reading Krishna book with few devotees yesterday night, and the chapter 8 of where the title is Vision of the Universal Form of Krishna. So in this chapter comes when Garga Muni visits Maharaj Nanda's palace to perform the name-giving ceremony to both Krishna and Balram on the request of Vasudeva Maharaj. Nanda Maharaj welcomes him and he requests Shri Garga Muni that not only these boys, but all human beings, just after birth, should accept a qualified Brahmana as his spiritual master. Beautiful thing, right? A very, very profound thing, that just after birth, one should accept a spiritual master. And who that should be that spiritual master? A qualified Brahmana. And in that, the reading we understood also who is a qualified Brahmana. Not just by having some name, Dvedi, Chaturvedi, Trivedi, or Sharma. No. One who is well versed in the science of Krishna. And who can explain that to others. He is a qualified Brahmana. That's why Srila Prabhupada always said, Vaishnavas are higher than the Brahmanas. So pure Vaishnava would be our spiritual master. So by taking shelter of such pure spiritual masters, such as devotees, we can understand Krishna's energy. Now, Krishna is Swarat. He is completely independent, meaning he does not come under the control of this material nature, even when he appears like us on this planet. So we also see that thing when Krishna enters river Yamuna, Mother Yamuna, which was poisoned by the snake Kaliya. For anyone, Kaliya was so poisonous that not only water of Yamuna got deadly because of that, even the shores of Yamuna, nobody used to be able to go there. It was so poisonous. It was deadly, even going to the shore of Yamuna. But what did Krishna do? He jumped into that poisonous water. Not only that, He danced playfully, not with any effort. That's why the word used here is vikrīḍaty, enjoys his pastimes. Vikrīḍaty means the sporting. In this world, when we see any sport, there is a competition, there is anxiety, teams are in anxiety to win over each other. So much sweating and everything, right, going on. That's really not vikrīḍaty. That is competition, not really a sport in the true sense, right? But Krishna is sporting, he's enjoying without any effort. So he's dancing playfully on the hoods of Kaliya. This shows he's not under the laws of nature, because anyone else would have got killed right away because of the poison. So by the way, when Krishna performs any pastime, they are multi-purpose and multi-dimensional. Jamuna jivana kelayana manasa chandra chakora Nam sudharas gao Krishna yas rakho vachan manamora. All these Keli Paraya, all these pastimes of Krishna are very, very sweet, and Krishna's internal energy performs those pastimes, or makes Krishna perform those pastimes. Even this pastime of Kaliya, which usually is being understood as, killing the poisonous Kaliya, it's multidimensional, multi-purpose. How? Not only Krishna is sporting in the water, having fun, he's also cleaning the nature, environment, Mother Yamuna's water from the poison. He's also giving the mercy to Nagpatnis, the wives of Kaliya Nag, at the same time, who were offering prayers to him. At the same time, he's creating so much anxieties in the hearts of Brajavasis. All the Brajavasis, Nand Maharaj, Yashoda Maiya, all his friends, all the Gopas, they were in great anxiety when Krishna jumped into the poisonous water. Why he's creating those anxieties? Because then, by showing how much they love him, he's glorifying their devotion and love for him even more. Not only that, he is also impressing Radharani by showing his wonderful dancing skills. Otherwise, who can dance on the hundreds of hood of a big serpent, which is very slippery? Serpent is angry. Not that Kaliya was very happy and allowing Krishna to, okay, go ahead, jump on me, I'm having fun. No, he was very angry. He was going up and down. All his hoods were going up and down, hundreds of hoods. Think about it. He was moving his hoods with great speed. But Krishna was easily, without any effort, having fun there. So, these are Krishna's potencies. Understanding Krishna's potency is very important, and realizing under which potency, or under the control of which potency are we in. In Sri Ishopanishad, it is mentioned, Ishavashyam idam sarvam. Anything living or non-living we see in the universe, in the whole creation, is controlled and owned by Lord. Ishavashyam idam sarvam. Everywhere it is only Krishna, only the energy of Krishna. And in Chaitanya Charitamrita, a verse comes, Krishnera Swabhavika Tina Shakti Parinati Chitta Shakti Jiva Shakti ātma-māyayā Shakti. Lord Krishna naturally has infinite potencies, but they are categorized mainly into three energetic transformations. And these are known as the spiritual potency, the living entity potency, and illusory potency. Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami mentions in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Spiritual energy means internal energy of Krishna. Living entity means marginal potency of Krishna, which we are all, because we have a choice to be either go to the internal potency of Krishna or to external potency of Krishna. right? So we come under marginal potency, and of course the illusory potency, which is external. They are different words mentioning the same thing. Srila Prabhupada mentions in the purport of this verse in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita that Chit Shakti, that is the spiritual energy, is Krishna's first energy, of which you have a very simple, you have simply a little experience. And actually living entity is also a sample of spiritual energy. But due to our conditioning or due to our desire to enjoy differently from Krishna, we separate ourselves from that in spiritual energy. And what is material energy? Which we all know as Maya, Maya Devi or Mahamaya. And Srila Prabhupada mentions one who knows the real feature of Krishna and his three different energies cannot remain ignorant about him. So if we want to know about Krishna completely, we have to understand his energies also. And all these three energies, the internal energy, the marginal energy, and the external energy, they're essentially one, just like electric energy, right? Srila Prabhupada gives the example. Electrical energy can produce both cold and heat under different conditions, right? It depends on what we want to do with that energy. We can use it accordingly. So by the influence of internal potency, Krishna creates this spiritual manifestations, the Vaikuntha lokas, which are eternally existing. They exist even after the annihilation of material universes happens. By his marginal potency, Krishna expands himself as living beings who are part of him. Jivera Swarupoy Krishna Nityadas. And by his external potency, Krishna manifests the material creation. So the example given is just like the sun creates fog with its rays, material creation is like that. It is a creation of Krishna, but it's a perverted reflection of his Vaikuntha planets. So three energies, very important to understand. Now, his divine pastimes, vikrīḍaty ātma-māyayā, his divine pastimes are playful, not effort for him. And he uses ātma-māyayā, his internal potency, to perform his pastimes. Just as Krishna plays in Vrindavan without anxiety, no matter how many demons are attacking or what is going on, he also plays with the material creation without any entanglement. He doesn't get attached to it. Just like in the pastime, Srila Prabhupada in the purport mentions two pastimes here. One is the Putna, killing of Putna. And second one is the departure of Krishna and destruction of Yadavas. So when Krishna performed this pastime of killing Putna in Vrindavan, how old he was? Just 6 days old. Just 6 days old. Putana ghatana katab shatana jai Dasharathi Rama. All his pastimes are so glorious, so sweet. In Gopal Champu, Srila Jiva Goswami mentions that Putna was, what was the expertise of Putna? Why Kansa chose Putna to go and take care of Krishna, to kill him? Just 6 days old child. Because Putna was expert in killing little children. That was her expertise. So Jiva Goswami mentions that before she came to kill Krishna, she had already chewed up, not just killed, chewed up 10 million children already. That was her accomplishment. That was her certificate. very qualified to kill children. And she used to devour or chew children just like somebody is eating rice flakes. Very dramatic description is given. And who was she in the previous life? She was the daughter of Bali Maharaj, to whom Vaman Dev gave darshan. But that's different pastime, but that was her past. So what she did, she had a very, very ugly or features. She used to look very, very horrifying. So she knew she cannot enter to Vrija or Vrindavan just like that in that form. So with her magical powers, mystic powers, she manifested into a beautiful girl, just like the goddess of fortune. She became so beautiful that even because Nanda Maharaj is a king of Vrindavan, he has his guards guarding the boundary of Vrindavan. She was so beautiful, they all got enchanted and they let her go without asking any question or asking for any permission or permits. How did that happen? Because these pastimes, like we are here reading in this purport, they happen under the internal energy of Krishna, which is controlled by Yog-maya. So Yog-maya, so that Krishna can enjoy this pastime of killing Putna, Yog-maya manifested her mystic power. Yog-maya is also controlling and guiding Putna to enter the glorious, the auspicious abode of Braj Vrindavan. It was because, Srila Jiva Goswami mentions, it was because of the influence of Yog-maya that Putna, she was very focused. Because once somebody enters the Vrindavan, the real Vrindavan Dham, there is no way that person can have bad desires. But by the influence of Yog-maya, Putna was not looking anywhere. She was not getting attracted by the beauty of Vrindavan Dham. She just directly entered the palace of Sri Nanda Maharaj. The question may arise that comes in Gopal Champu itself, that why did Krishna's two mothers, who are two mothers of Krishna, Mother Yashoda and Rohini, did not understand? Mothers are very, very sensitive to understand or realize any danger to their child. And what to speak of Mother Yashoda and Rohini? Why did they not stop Putna? Why couldn't they understand who Putna is? So the answer is, as Yog-maya, the internal energy of Krishna, has made various arrangements in the past for all these pastimes to happen. Similarly, again, she arranged this non-intervention of Yashoda and Rohini. How? By manifesting the form of beautiful woman, the demoness Putna. She was like a serpent hiding in a golden jar. And she was shedding floods of tears, artificially showing the love for Krishna. She was pretending to be filled with motherly love for Krishna. In this way, by the influence of Yog-maya, both Mother Yashoda and Rohini also got bewildered. And what does Putna represent? The pseudo-devotee. A person who is acting like a devotee, who might have addressed like a devotee, but not really a true devotee. So what happened then? The little Krishna, when he saw this beautiful lady, so-called beautiful lady, he just closed his eyes. Why? Krishna knew everything. He did not want to see, our acharyas explain, he closed his eyes because he did not want to see her face as she has killed so many children. He didn't want to appreciate the beauty of such person. But still, because she was disguised, although she was disguised with motherly affection, Krishna is so merciful that even at her artificial expression of motherly love, he gave her the position of mother in the form of a nurse in the spiritual world, in the Golok Vrindavan. That's the mercy and compassion of Krishna. Because he ultimately, there is a whole pastime how he kills her, but the bottom line is that he closed his eyes because he didn't want to, he was not so happy to see her, but at the same time, just because although she was serving artificially, she served him and showed motherly affection. He gave her the position of nurse in his abode. So Krishna performs this sweet pastimes. Now, the verse says, visṛjya va yathā māyām. Visṛjya va yathā māyām. How he also creates and annihilates using external energy. In Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavan Krishna says, Maya adhyakshena prakritina suyate su characharam. That Supreme Lord Krishna is the controller of everything. But the management of this material world is done by Maya Devi, material nature. But he has nothing to do with it. He remains completely detached. The example given in the Vedas is just like a fragrant flower. Think about it. Visualize this. There is a fragrant flower in our hand, in front of us. Now the fragrance of that flower is touched. Only the fragrance is getting touched, because we are smelling it. Yet the smelling and the flower are detached from one another, right? They are separate, at the same time they are one. So Krishna does not come under the control of Maya. Maya is his servant. Just like a big magnet, it can attract iron pieces, right? But that magnet is completely independent. Those iron pieces cannot pull magnet. We're talking about large, very big magnet. Now, another pastime Srila Prabhupada mentions is, so one thing to understand, what does it mean that at the time of annihilation, Krishna gives them up to the external potency? This just means that he is completely detached. He just, although he creates such a magnificent creation in the form of this material world, it's magnificent, it's beautiful, but it's magnanimous. But when there is a time for annihilation, he simply leaves it. He has no attachment. That's all it means. Okay. Now, there is another pastime Srila Prabhupada mentions in the purport, is the pastime when Krishna was closing his earthly drama. Whatever Krishna does is very dramatic, very, very action-oriented, full of action, full of romance, full of comedy. I was listening to the interview of this devotee who have created this movie, right? Who has this Narasimha movie, right? He was saying that so much, when we think about Krishna's pastimes, so many movies we can create better than other movies we see in this world. It's full of so much drama, so much action. Think about it. Anything Krishna does is so dramatic. He makes it so attractive to his devotees. So when the Kurukshetra war ended, Krishna and his Yadu dynasty, they lived happily, very happily in the Dwarka Dham. And these Yadus, the family of Krishna, or the all these Yadus were so powerful that no army in the whole world could defeat them. But now Krishna was thinking, the purpose of my mission is finished. Now I should disappear. Time for me to disappear. Now, Krishna was very conscious of the fact that these yadus love him the most. If he leaves them, he disappear, they will not be able to handle his separation and they will act whimsically. So Krishna wanted to make sure before he leaves, he wanted all his assets in the Yadu dynasty to also go back to their respective planets. Which planets? Because when Krishna appeared, some of these Yadus, they came from Vaikuntha. Some of them came from various heavenly planets. They were not ordinary souls. So Krishna wanted to send them back to their respective positions, respective lokas. And there is a whole pastime how some Yadu kids or princes, they were playing and they got cursed by some sages. And then iron club was created, and the brahmanas, those sages, gave the curse because those kids were playful time, but they ended up offending these brahmanas, and they got the curse that this club will destroy your entire dynasty. Because one of the Yadu princes, he disguised as a pregnant lady, hiding clothes under his clothes, and then asking these sages that they saw that, "Oh sages, you are great, learned Brahmins, please tell us, will this woman," the other boys asked about this prince who was disguised as a pregnant lady, "will this woman give a birth to boy or girl?" They were kind of insulting the sages, and because of their childishness. But sages got insulted. They become very angry and cursed. "This so-called woman will give birth to an iron club, and that club will destroy your dynasty completely." Now, how that happened? All the will of Krishna. These pastimes are happening. And then there is a whole pastime how the Yadus, break apart that iron club into many pieces, and that still it manifested different weapons, and all Yadus ended up killing each other. Krishna arranged for all the Yadus to gather at the Prabhas-kshetra, which is near Dwarka, and by Krishna's will or by destiny, all those Yadus, they started drinking liquor, become intoxicated, and quarreling, and then killed each other. Very hard to understand. And how big this Yadu family was? It is said 36 million Yadus were there who got killed. And not killed by anyone else, quarreling between each other. 36 millions. This was Krishna's arrangement. To wind up his earthly pastimes and to return back to his abode. Now, question may come that, and after that we know Krishna sat under a tree in Dwarka in four-armed form, and then there is a archer or a hunter with the name Jara who came and he hit the arrow at Krishna's feet, and Krishna passed away. Think about it. How can just by hitting the arrow at the feet, right? It happened. It was all happening by Krishna's will. And in fact, it is mentioned that Krishna created a body of material energy before he got shot by the arrow. His the real spiritual four-armed body was untouched by that arrow. But regardless, question may come, why Krishna sanctioned this kind of destruction for his own family? How can one remain unaffected when someone is seeing his family getting destroyed in front of his own eyes? That's where Srila Sukha Goswami is saying sākṣivad. Especially when he is capable of protecting them, fully capable, right? Because he wanted to wind up his pastimes, and he knew Yadus will create destruction out of anger and bewilderment, confusion after he leaves them. So he wanted to organize, orchestrate this pastime. But Krishna's, in Bhagavad Gita, like it says, Namam karmani limpanti. These actions do not bind me. He is always unattached. So now how to make it practical for us? What is in it for us, right? When we are not connected with Krishna, we are under the influence of external energy, Mahamaya. Krishna bhuliya jiva bhoga vancha kare, pasate maya tare, japatiya dhare. As soon as we have this desire, or as long as we have desire to enjoy this material world, we are away from Krishna, and the Maya grabs us. Japatiya. How Maya traps us? There was a nice story His Grace Radheshyam Prabhu was telling, that once a husband and wife were driving were in the car. Husband was driving, and another car comes and takes over to this car. Now, wife for some reason gets very upset and says to her husband, "You're good for nothing." Now that makes her husband challenged, and he starts chasing that car now, full speed. After a few miles, he overtakes that car and then looks at his wife and proudly asks, "What do you think now? Am I smart or fool?" Now, wife, they're not satisfied, right? They're always not satisfied. They say, "You are both. You are both fool and we are both smart." Now, husband was bewildered. "Why are you saying I'm fool?" Wife says, "Because although you ran very fast, you overtook this car, but we were supposed to take an exit 10 miles before. We missed it." So that is our situation. We are passionately chasing this rat race. Why? Because I want to enjoy this world. Want to enjoy this. I want to enjoy family. I want to enjoy social life. I want to enjoy money. I want to enjoy vacations. When will we enjoy? We miss most of our youth already, the prime time already. And how much can we enjoy? And how much can we enjoy in the old age? Even if there is some enjoyment, is this really an enjoyment? So when we take up to this process of bhakti, devotion, we start chanting, we start engaging in the devotional services, we hear about Krishna, we associate with pure devotees, then the cloud in our heart starts clearing, and we start coming under the control of internal potency. So that's our journey from external potency to internal energy. And internal energy is nothing but, this is the energy coming from Krishna that is aligned with his desires. What is a person's internal energy? His desires. His desires for his pleasure. So Krishna also has desires. He is a person. He's not desireless. But the external energy is when the living entities, due to their selfishness, actually an external energy is created by Krishna to give a chance to us, living entities, to enjoy, who want to enjoy separately from Krishna. So Krishna's internal potency is when we surrender to Krishna through the process of bhakti. This is a completely different perspective. It's like a complete paradigm shift from what is in it for me to what is in it for Krishna. We have to understand that to understand the internal energy. So I will just mention a couple of more points and then we'll pause. as we move from the control of internal energy, from external to internal energy, as a result of our sadhana, our services, then instead of Mahamaya, Yogmaya grabs us. She controls us. She starts dictating us, depending on the degree of our surrender and sincerity. Just like Yogmaya takes care of all the activities of pastimes for the pleasure of Krishna, we also become controlled and directed by Yogmaya. So if you think about it, how beautiful that Yogmaya not only takes control of us, now our desires also start aligning with Krishna's desires, because that can only give pleasure to Krishna, and that can only give pleasure, real pleasure to us. And who controls this Yogmaya, internal potency? Srimati Radharani, whose appearance day we will celebrate just in 2 days. She is the internal potency, Alahadni Shakti of Krishna. So conclusion of our chanting, our services, our sadhana is that we want to bring both Radha and Krishna together. What does it mean? We are bringing the bhagavān and bhakt together. The Supreme Lord and his devotees together. That is the bottom line. All our chanting and all our practices are not for us to give pleasure to us. That will happen automatically. So bringing pleasure for both Krishna and his devotees, that will bring pleasure to us. That's why we have all these programs, these festivals, these celebrations. That should be our mood. And that is such a relieving, such a freeing feeling, because now instead of feeling that we are the master of our destiny in this world, we are handing over our life to somebody who is more capable than us. That gives the real freedom. And how to keep ourselves under this internal potency? Simple. Aspire to live under the shelter of Yogmaya, under the shelter of Radharani, under the shelter of devotees. Our most famous ABCD, uplifting association, reading Srila Prabhupada's books, chanting, Sankirtan, and Krishna Prasadam diet. That will make us Maya proof. Just like a soldier will have bulletproof jacket, right? These ABCD is our Maya proof jacket. Thank you so much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Sorry, I took a little longer than I should have. I was hoping to complete by 8:55. But if anyone has any comments, any corrections, any questions, please unmute yourself. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, please accept my humble obeisances. So Gurus of Prabhupada. Very nice class, Prabhu. I have to say that my mind got stuck several times. Actually, not stuck, got paused several times in the pastimes, and then I had to jump ahead and keep up with you.
Yes,
so
that's why it took longer.
No, it's just really amazing. It's really powerful, how Krishna does so many things at one time. And of course, like you said, it's so difficult to understand, but actually, when you were speaking about the yadus, when the Lord knew that if he was going to end his earthly pastimes, if he leaves, then the yadu dynasty will be very, depressed, disturbed, whatever, sad, very remorse that, they're not going to be with the Lord. And when you mentioned 36,000, you said, or 36 million?
36 million.
Hey, Krishna Karuna Sindhu, like it's beyond at least my, comprehension. Like that's a lot of yadus. And then you were talking, and we've heard this pastimes, that they were drinking liquor and fighting with each other. And we know that the Lord planted them, he told them to appear for his pastimes. And that's when my mind paused, because I'm wondering, why couldn't the Lord, of course, then again, we don't understand Krishna's Leela, but I was just curious, the Lord could have found some other way to end the whole dynasty. Why do they have to fight? Or why do they have to drink or this or that? So I was just wondering about the question, Prabhu. I don't know if you have the answer or if Vishwagata Prabhu has the answer, but it's just curiosity, of course. One answer can be the Lord's pastimes, but I don't know if there's another meaning, or reason to it.
Sure, Mataji. So it's a very good question, very good thought. I'm sure that question must be coming to so many devotees. Actually, Vishnugata Prabhu has already his hand up. Maybe we can hear from him, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Please accept my humble obeisances.
Well, the only aspect of that Srila Prabhupada says is that no other force could get rid of the yadus from the earth. That's the only other. I can't speculate beyond that, but he said that's all. That the yadus were the only other people that could take care of the yadus is the yadus. CC gives the example of if you have a thorn in your side, you can take a thorn to get it out, or a thorn in your leg, you get a thorn to get it out.
Yes.
That's the best I can do. I don't know if anybody else has.
That really makes a lot of sense, Prabhu. Thank you so much. At least in my mind, it brings it to a conclusion. Thank you so much,
Okay.
Prabhu.
There was another. I was just curious, dear Krishna Prabhu, you said that devotional service and chanting Hare Krishna brings Radha and Krishna together. And could you talk more or clarify that? I never heard that before.
Yeah, I will try, Prabhu. The way I understood it is because anything we are doing, a devotional service, that is on behalf of Radharani, so that she can serve Krishna better. So even our chanting, when we are chanting Hare Krishna, we are praying to both Hare and Krishna. So some great acharyas, they have explained the meaning of Hare Krishna Mahamantra as, of course, one meaning is we are praying to Radharani to engage us in the service of Krishna. And some have also mentioned that it is that when we say Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, when we are saying Hare Krishna and Hare Krishna Radha separately, they are in the separation. And when we chant Krishna Krishna Hare Hare or like that, they are coming together. So it's a separation and union at the same time. And then any services, I also heard that any service we do, any devotional service we do, that actually we are assisting Radharani in her service to Krishna.
Oh, okay. But the first one, I would like you said that acharyas do it. If you could find that quote, because I've never heard that before, and it may be true.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's not, but I just never heard that before. Because it's as if Radha and Krishna need our help. They're always together. They're Krishna, and so anyway, it's just a little, it's a little curious from my point of view. And then in the beginning, you were talking about how the living entities merge into the body of Mahavishnu. Of course, there's different devastations, but I talked yesterday. It was not Mahavishnu; it was Garbhodakshay Vishnu.
Oh, okay.
It's Garbhodakshay Vishnu because at the end of every day, Bhagavad Gita says that at the end of every day, all the living entities are annihilated and go into an unmanifest state, and then at the beginning of the millennium again, they're from an unmanifest state they become manifest after the Brahma's day. So not just at the Mahavishnu state. And I quoted from Srimad Bhagavatam of Narad Muni. Narad Muni was he went into the body of Garbhodakshay Vishnu, and he says he was there for 4,320 million years. So anyway, just a little detail.
Thank you for that question, Prabhu. Yeah, so depending on the kind of devastation. Yeah. Thank you.
It's a little confusing, but anyway.
Hare Krishna. But I will definitely try to find that meaning. I think it is in Mahanidhi Swami's book also, or maybe some other book I will try to find.
Yeah, I'm like I said, if you can find an acharya,
Yeah.
that'd be good.
Thank you, Prabhu. So I think it's already 9:10. If no more questions, comments, is it okay, Mataji, to wind up?
Yes, yes, Prabhu. Yes, yes. It was just a very nice class, at least for me. The pastimes and the details, like I said, my mind was paused and I had to bring it back because I was just going, wow, 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 just listening to this, facts. So yes, thank you so much for a wonderful class. And yes, you can end it, Prabhu, absolutely. As you think it's done. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you, all the devotees. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Vancha kalpatarubhya kripa sindhu bhaivacha. Patitanam bhavnebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. We will see all of you on Sunday morning, Sunday evening at the
For
temple.
udāste ki jai. Hare Krishna.